Willing disbelief. The ability to tell yourself what's happening on screen is real, even though we know it's not. That is the concept every filmmaker wants to achieve with a film. The extent to how the audience gets there is the extent to which we as filmmakers are successful. So, this is how we achieved willing disbelief with our film, Rapta. I'm Logan Edwards, the director, editor, and colorist of this film, and this is what went down behind the scenes. Come along for a ride as we dive into the trials and tribulations and how we got lost in the sauce. First off, screenwriting. We started by watching the award-winning films from last year's Horror Fest to see what the judges were looking for in order to win. We looked back at our prompts and started brainstorming around those. Well, by we, I mostly mean Brady. Now is a good time to introduce our crew members. Brady Hogg is our screenwriter for this project. We also have Ivan Mirro, who is responsible for the shot list and cinematography, as well as custom soundtracks for the film. And last but not least, Arpad Mayer, our producer, audio tech, and master carpenter. We had a few ideas in mind for this film. The prompt included a required line of dialogue, "Is it over?" a mirror as a prop, and a few rules. It must include up to 15 seconds of a horror film that must be in the public domain, and no cell phones can ever be seen in the film. More on that part later. We immediately knew how we wanted to incorporate the mirror. The movie Contact has this mirror shot that we really wanted to replicate, so we made sure to incorporate that into our script. Ivan also really wanted a fog machine, so he ended up buying a really nice one that we used in the film. And the rest, we handed it off to Brady to start cooking.
As the writer for Rapta, it was a very interesting process. Typically, for everything else I've written, I've also been directing, so it was a new experience for me, having to write something and then sort of pass it off and let them do what they want with it. And that did bring some issues because none of them were really used to that. One of the main hiccups we got was we were really indecisive on what we wanted. We had probably 8 different versions of the script, just with different people's ideas bouncing around, which is great, but we still had like 8 ideas by like day 2 of the challenge, and so that was just not the wisest thing to do.
After many revisions of the same script, 16 to be exact, we finally had a script that was good and that all of us liked. And after playing around with the fog machine for a bit, now it was on to test the real shots for the film.
Yeah, man. Totally sick in here, bro.
Arpad had recently moved houses and his old house wasn't sold yet. So we obviously decided a bare, empty house would be a great blank slate for a film set. We started to film test shots in different locations of the house to see what would work. But nothing really lined up with my vision. So our gears started turning. What if we built walls? What if we built a whole set? Like in this weekend. So we went to Home Depot. Then we built a wall here and a wall here, and this is the room that Tom is in. We barricade this off so it looks like a closet. So we barricade it there and there.
Oh yeah, I thought Logan was crazy. It seemed like such a wild idea that nobody else would do, and I didn't know how to feel about it, even though I am pretty experienced in the set carpentry field.
Honestly, I thought it was completely reasonable. I was standing right there in the hallway where we were planning on putting the mirror, and I looked right across to where Josh was gonna be laying on the bed, and I was like, right here. This would be a perfect scary hallway. I did this with my hands. Only if there was walls there.
So we had some wood and we had a few tools, so we just set up shop in the garage and pretty much just got to work.
They started building the set and I was like, hey guys, can I just go over here? I need a nap. And that's how I got out of building the set, pretty much.
So they built 2 walls. I came on set when it was like halfway done. It was really weird to see, and it looked great in the final product. It kind of helped the whole like janky look of the dungeon, if you would. But yeah, just the gall to be like, yeah, in this short time frame, I'm gonna build 2 whole walls on set.
We started by making stud walls for the hallway, by making U-shaped brackets that went over the staircase railing so that we wouldn't be drilling any holes into the walls. We also made a standard stud wall that we weighed down with sandbags to keep them vertical. Fence boards were abused with the machete and other things, and were eventually stuck to walls with command strips to make the window look boarded up. Quick story interjection here. Arpad and Ivan abandoned me during the evening of one of these set construction days in order to film our homecoming dance at our school. So I was left to build the butcher's closet all to myself.
Logan FaceTimed me like 3 or 4 times during that homecoming dance, and I mean, like, why?
I didn't know how to build a wall. The only experience I had with set construction was building a small box with Arpad the prior summer.
I mean, yeah, I worked on a box with him over the summer, but screwing 2 pieces of wood together isn't that hard.
We also stapled paper to the stud walls to act as drywall, and a lot of props we hung to the pre-existing walls with command strips. Fake blood was made with dish soap and food coloring, and then rubbed onto the walls.
Honestly, the set turned out way better than I could have ever expected. We ended up putting some command strips on the walls to hang some gardening tools to add to that scary mood and vibe to that room.
Dear God, it was the worst thing I've ever built. It was just so shaky, and like command stripping machetes to the wall is not really the safest idea. I think the amount of OSHA violations we had on that set was too many.
Ivan was our Picasso with that dish soap and red food coloring all over the walls to give that fake blood look.
Ultimately, I liked how the set turned out, but I guess the blood dried a little brown and we had to fix that in post.
That's just, it worked, and it is what it is.
Remember, one of our prompts was up to 15 seconds of a public domain horror film? Well, here's how we made that happen. Student filmmaker Alex Murdock has this really old CRT TV that he let us borrow for the film. After building a really crappy stand for it and using an HDMI adapter to hook it up to our laptop, we had a really crappy old TV that we could use to play our film on. The movie we used was Dementia 13 because it tied well with our axe murder scene. After that, it was time to refine the mirror shot. We watched a few analysis videos on this, but what we ended up doing was covering the mirror with green wrapping paper. This would act as a sort of green screen that would allow us to key out the green in place of our actor walking towards the camera, and to pull out the camera, revealing the edges of the mirror frame, seamlessly cutting to the next shot. And now, it's filming day. We were able to get some amazing theater actors for this film: Francesca Huser, Josh Miller, and Tate Erickson. All of them are extremely talented at acting, so Arpad knew they'd be the perfect fit for this film. So we got them all together, brought pizza, and got everyone in their costumes and makeup, and we started filming.
Filming went well, actors got there, we ate pizza, whatnot. I remember liking how all the shots turned out.
Our actors did a fantastic job. Josh, Tate, and Fran, they really brought our story to life through their performance.
They just absolutely killed it, and I'm glad to be able to have them for this film.
Filming went pretty well. It took a whole day going late into the night, but it worked. We got all of the scenes done, and we were pretty convinced our film would turn out amazing. But then, we shot ourselves in the foot. I thought it looked fine, everyone thought it looked fine. But then, Arpad noticed it.
The cell phone was in the shot. How did we overlook this?
Oh my God, I cannot believe we forgot about the most important part: not having any phones visible.
I had an idea for a shot, so I just wrote it in with our main character holding his phone. It's like, oh, it's fine, But yeah, I forgot about the specific rule.
Someone decided to go back in, change the script writing a little bit after I was done with the script, and added a phone into it. This guy doesn't write. What is he doing? He's changing my script, and now it is a legal film for the film festival. So he's on my hit list now.
After that disturbing realization, we found another filming day, we checked out more equipment, and we reshot that scene again.
So since we had to reshoot, we took the time to kind of step back and look at each one of our shots. Luckily, Josh and Fran were both available still, so we scheduled a time with them, and I'm much happier with the second result.
We had a couple mishaps, like forgetting the gimbal battery, but besides that, I thought it was way better. Like, we got more variety of shots, the actors were more refreshed, the weather was a lot nicer. I thought it turned out great.
After that, it was time to grind on the editing. I colored all the footage and edited the whole film in DaVinci Resolve, which wasn't too hard to do. We had quite a bit of time, so it wasn't too much of a hassle after refilming. Ivan made some custom music for the film in Reaper, and Arpad used an audio kit to do some Foley for the film. We submitted it, and it was time to watch the film at our festival. Everything came together. The 16 iterations of the script, the set we built, the days of filming and editing, everything came together all at once. Everyone voted, and we won our local festival.
I was so surprised at the film festival. We were the only ones that got judge's choice and audience choice.
I'm very happy with how the film turned out. We spent hours upon hours on the script, the shot list, the set design, the editing. I'm very happy with the end result.
All the hard work that we'd put in had just completely paid off in that moment.
Yeah, it was an overall good experience, and I forgive Ivan.
We had a month to work on it, and we spent all of that month, working hard and doing whatnot. We ended up with a minute end product.
Overall, it was a very memorable experience for everyone. We put in a lot of effort, which we wouldn't have done in the past, but it really paid off. So that brings up the question, what's next?